So using the BakBalls, there's a few different ways you can use it for different difficulties. So the video here shows the red ball, but obviously there's the black ones as well, which are firmer. So whichever one you've got, the same things will apply. You can do it standing up against the wall, but this video will just go through the ways you can use it on the floor. And depending on what pressure you've got, you can use a bed even to make it especially soft, a carpeted sort of soft underlaid sort of surface, or a firmer surface, and that's going to change the pressure that goes through your back. And if you haven't got a carpeted surface, you could always use a folded up towel or something to take a bit of pressure off as well. But your physio also to give you some guidance on what level to start with. But a good sort of starting point in general is often just trying to be laying down on it. So if you position it somewhere sort of around the middle of the upper back is a good starting point. And then you can do this with or without a pillow depending on comfort. And just doing it with your arms down by your side is not going to be putting the most pressure on it, but it's still going to be giving you some pressure to have some effect. So that's a nice starting point. If that feels too much, then yeah, try a softer surface underneath or even standing. With each position that you do, essentially you're going to work through different levels, so it can be 20 or 30 seconds at each spot. And then after that time, you can just push or pull through your feet just to move your body up or down a little bit. And you're just looking to roll the BakBalls a little bit up or down the spine to go down to that next level. So a few centimetres at a time, just yeah, working up and back that way. For the next difficulty level, if that's feeling a little bit too easy or you're feeling like you want to get a bit more pressure in there, you can either put your hands behind your head with your elbows pointing forward, or you can have your hands hugging your chest, so you're holding the opposite shoulder. Which of those you do may depend on whether your head's on the ground or not on the ground and what feels more comfortable for you. And same as the other one, you can just work your way through the different positions, but this will certainly just put a bit of extra pressure on there. This position also gives you the ability to play around with some different movements to adjust the pressure as well. So some things you might want to try, particularly if you've got pain more one side than the other, is just slightly rolling from one side to the other. And you'll feel that pressure a little bit more on that side you're rolling to, a little bit like the physio, just pushing in and out of those joints. You may also choose to rock back and forth, almost like a little mini sort of sit up and back and forth, and again you're just going to feel that change in pressure. Another way to increase the pressure by quite a bit more is actually just to lift the bum up off the ground, and at this stage you can just be doing that as again a hold for that period of time, and then putting the bum down and rolling into the next spot, or you may even try again replicating the physio, having that pressure on and off. You can lift your bum up and then lower back down, and you're getting that increase in pressure and then that decrease back and forth on that single spot of the spine, and again working your way throughout the spine. If that's still feeling like you want to get more pressure into it and you've sort of moved on to a firmer surface, then you may choose to do the arms up over the head. Now this works best particularly in the upper part of the, or like really high in the upper back, so particularly good if you're having to do a lot of overhead activity. But again, you should just feel a bit of a pressure increase, particularly through that zone. And again, you can just hold that pressure in that spot, or you may choose to bring your hands from overhead to back up above your head, and get that sort of alteration in pressure as you go. And for those who are feeling, I guess, really adventurous with it, you've been using it for a while, you're coping really well, and you want to get even more pressure into it, then probably the hardest way to use it is actually rolling through the spine. This arguably is more of a massage effect, but it's still going to be sinking into those joints. Yeah, and as Lily's doing there, that's perfect. Just pushing back and forth through the feet. Depending on how bigger sweeping movements you can do, you may be able to work through the whole area that you're wanting to, or you may find that you do a little segment up and back and then reposition and do another segment up and back. But that'll generally be quite a bit more intense, and obviously only doing that yeah, if you're coping with it, and if you sort of also had some advice to make sure that that's safe, and if you're not sure, then just come in and have a chat to our guys and we'll be able to give you some feedback on that. But they're generally the ways you can use it through the upper back. Yeah, a bit of discomfort's quite normal, but you want to make sure that that's a good pain, so to speak, and again, if in doubt, then come for some advice. And yeah, you can play around with those different positions and find the one that works for you.